Here we are, the morning after the Greenhouse Season 3, a brutal 17-hour experience. And here we are with our final eliminated player, Edmund. Good morning, Edmund. How are you feeling?
Rested. Yesterday was a long day, but I'm happy with how it happened. I drove 9 hours to play this game, so I just wanted to do well and leave my stamp on the greenhouse, and I think I did that. I
would agree. I think you absolutely dominated throughout the season. I think you're going to be one of our big characters. Definitely on the Mount Rushmore of Season 3.
Okay. I'll take a Mount Rushmore spot.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, coming in from out of town, like we met online, how did the game match up with your expectations coming into it?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people here that like knew of each other, which was my biggest concern, is that coming into here, I didn't want to be a victim of friends choosing each other just because they know each other.
Right.
I'd rather have an ally choose me because they think they can really work with me moving forward to get to the end. Plus, seeing like the Taylor Luke residence in the flesh was definitely a treat. I was just excited to play the greenhouse. I watched both the first 2 seasons, which is also kind of weird because like even though a lot of people are from around here, they had no idea how it worked. So I think that I had that to my advantage.
Definitely. So what makes the greenhouse different from other games that you played?
It's just an original format. I mean, I think the biggest thing is that you have so many options to wiggle your way out of a situation, and you have many different opportunities to do it. In between the greenhouse competition and nominations and the auction and the banishment, you have 3 different set periods to try and flip something if you need something to go your way, or if you want to push a certain strategy or perception to try and set yourself up for runs further.
Definitely. I would agree. So, as far as the cast went, who were some of the standouts? I mean, obviously you had that deep Final Four with the Ultimate Final Four. What were some of the, I guess, moments that really led to that connection?
Well, I mean, I really wasn't super close with Shakira and Thomas at first. I think me and Zach just kind of hit it off from the beginning, because we're both kind of dramatic. And I remember round 1, Shakira like did not want to talk to me, and I just thought I was done for. I was freaking out already, and then I just never really talked to Thomas. So like at the beginning, I was really close to Shane and Bryn and Zach. Those were like my 3. But then as the game went on,
you're fine.
Okay. But as the game went on, I just realized I had to pivot. Bryn wasn't as lovely as Bryn is, and I love her. I needed like a strategic force. I needed someone who was gonna push things forward, where I felt like Bryn was kind of being more passive and just letting things happen. And then Shane just did not have a good, I guess, reputation in the greenhouse. I think everyone was painting him to be super paranoid, but I think a lot of his thoughts were kind of correct. Like there were certain times we needed to push certain things in his eyes for his game, even though I felt like I had many different avenues to get to the end. So I was just trying to balance all those avenues while still keeping Shane at bay to make sure he was okay.
I follow. So we have to talk about the Venus flytrap. Always one of the most iconic parts of every season. First, what was it like to be the one to actually purchase it, as someone who has seen the past seasons?
Oh, I mean, I think everyone, if you've watched the greenhouse, I think the main thing you're worried about is that Venus flytrap. You don't want it in the wrong person's hands. So when I was put on the block, the only time I was put on the block before I think like Final 5, when it was like necessary I go up, I was next to Shane and Zach, my 2 people, so I was just like, nope, we're not doing this. I knew there was enough seeds around, and we were at Final 10, so it was possible. So right when he did that, I even stole one of Brady's seeds and used it against him. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, so Brady gave me one of his seeds to uproot myself, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll uproot myself. And I went and scurried to the girls, got all the seeds, and It didn't take me that long. I think it only took me about 2 minutes before I had all of them. And it was definitely a moment. I contemplated whether it was the right strategic move, but I think I was still just trying to kind of play safe at that point.
Right.
And I wanted to wait to make my move next round, but then I had to basically put all my shit on blast again with the Joker twist or whatever.
So with that Joker twist, how much of a turning point in your game was that?
I think that is where I had to choose a path, and I was really loyal to the 4 because I was so tight with Thomas and Zach. The only reason why I think the 4 wasn't as serious early on is because me and Shakira just never had that conversation, and we never got together with us 4. But once the 2 perceptive sides with that challenge specifically, they were split evenly on each team. So it's like I couldn't really... I was gonna make someone mad regardless. But I did say that round that I think I messed my game up. I think that's where I messed my game up.
Yeah. So I think one thing that I'm curious to hear how you perceived it is, at what point did you realize that you were the 4th place out of that top 4? And at what point do you think it was solidified that you were that person? Like in advance?
I mean, I knew it as early as, I would say, like the Joker twist. Yeah. I had a one-on-one and I said, I don't feel comfortable with this 4. I'm just gonna ride it out. I've shown my loyalty and I just hope they pay that loyalty back to me. Clearly I had many opportunities to take initiative to flip on them. I think there was, I could have saved Britt at Final 8. I don't remember who she was against, but...
Thomas.
It was Thomas. That's what I thought. So I really could have, because I had my banked vote. I probably could have pulled in. We only would have needed to pull in one more, but I was loyal to Thomas, and I do think that was another move I missed an opportunity on. But after the Joker, I was just really unsure that I was gonna make it to the end. I was just kind of staying loyal to the 4, hoping that I could just get to 4 and then see if I could finesse my way. But I always kind of knew it was them 3.
I see. So, coming out of the season, what were there any major lessons that you learned as a player that could help you for next time you play a game like this?
Not to play anymore.
Oh.
But I don't know. I just think the more games that you play, it does really teach you stuff about yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's why this game, I just wasn't trying to be super conniving. I think I was super strategic and I was still being kind of deceptive. But I was trying to stay loyal to my people, which those were the 4 people I named at the beginning of the game that I wanted to be in the Final 4 with. So I think once I'm hung up on something so early, like that is my end goal. So as much as I'm working with everybody else, and if I'm deceiving them, I still want to stay true to my people. So I could have turned on them lots of times, I feel like, but I stayed loyal. So I think that was the different thing about this time around was, even though I knew I could do something, I still chose to just ride with my people.
Definitely. And yeah, so now that we are post-finale, do you have any final comments on our winner, Shakira, or any part of your experience?
No, I'm very proud of Shakira. I was thinking about fly trapping her, which maybe would have been the right decision, seeing now that Shakira's the winner. But I'm very proud of Shakira for the fact that she's never played a game, and just how social she was. She still had the strategic ability, you know what I mean? So I'm very proud of Shakira. I obviously voted for Thomas. I was going into the finale voting for Shakira, but I just feel like Thomas knew how to talk to the certain jury members, me included. When I asked my questions, Shakira wasn't really giving me the answer I was looking for, whereas Thomas did. And even though I was so mad at Thomas because I was so loyal to him, even though I had the final 2 with Zach, I was just making deals everywhere. But I did really love my relationship working with Thomas because it was just very mutual. It was just that there wasn't any confusion. We were always on the same page about everything, and then usually we would have to get the others on the same page. So I'm very proud of Thomas's game. Zach as well. I just think Zach was rambling a bit too much in the
He
finale.
was. He was. Love you, Zach.
We do love Zach.
Edit.
Yeah.
I'll probably cut it down in the final version.
That's fine.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you so much for playing, Edmund. It was an absolute pleasure to have you over. Thank you for driving all this way. I'm glad you got a full season out of it.
Thanks for having me. First boot realness would not have been...
I would have felt extremely bad. I don't know what I would have done.
But I still would have stayed and watched everything.
Of course.
I had nowhere to go.
Yeah. But yeah, this has been the Greenhouse Season 3. If I think this should be the last video of the playlist. We'll see. We might have like a finale podcast or something. But... thank you for watching, and we will see you for Season 4.
Yes. Mwah.
Bye.
All good. So I'm gonna take over for this one. Her whole show was called Flippin Out, where she interviewed the flippin' losers. So welcome. Because when she played in Season 2, when she was eliminated, she flipped the table on her way out. So she was letting people flip things.
Oh, we're flipping?
Well, I can give you something to like throw. So here's like a little. I don't know if the camera's gonna catch it. And like you can like just knock it off. I'm gonna just.
We're just gonna.
Watch, I'll just angle down here. Oh, she really. Okay. Okay.
Can do it?
Yeah. Yes!
Oh! That's how I feel at 2 a.m.
Alright, so. How do you feel about your game as a whole?
I'm really proud of myself. I mean, I came into this, I said this, like, I have really had no experience with, like, these games. I've never really watched one. I don't watch reality television. Like, it's not social strategy. I said this to so many people throughout the thing. I was like, this is so bizarre because it's not how I talk to people.
Right.
Like, I don't really ever go up to people with, like, you know, let's hear your motive. I'm not, like, trying to prove my goodness right here, but, like, I just don't really do that. And so to, like, lie straight to somebody's face, that's hard.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, it got to a point where I was like, wait, these are genuine connections. Do I want to go back on those people? I was like, I play the game.
Good.
And, like, I have something I want to show. I want to show that I can make it there.
As you should.
And I did. And, like, honestly, like, I said to Thomas and Shakira, I was like, if this, whatever way this goes, I'm totally happy just being here.
Yeah.
That's why, like, when it pinned me for the tiebreaker, I was like, oh wait, this is even kind of more fun.
Right. Yeah. So, like, how did you feel about that?
I was definitely, I was kind of expected with, because I feel like I can come off as, like, a pretty genuine person, and I feel like, because I am being genuine, but then when it came to decisions, I would make decisions that I think hurt some people. And I feel like that's just, a lot of people kind of held that in the vote. I definitely made some moves to, like, see some people that I saw as not big competitors go away, and people whom I love the entire season, but they definitely went into their vote, which, again, understand, I probably would have voted the same way. So I'm not upset at the end. I think I was heartbroken to, like, pinky promise Edmund, knowing that I wasn't going to do that. Just kind of already having established that relationship with Thomas and Shakira, but I mean, it's the greenhouse.
Right.
And anything goes.
Right. So what made your final decision to vote to break the tie in Shakira's favor instead of Thomas?
I've seen Shakira was as new to this as I was, and it was kind of a shared effort in that, and that we were really trying to pull our own, but we were both coming into this very new kind of, I don't want to say outsiders, everybody was kind of an outsider in their own way. But she and I kind of, like, shared, like, a headspace with that. And as good as Thomas played, I think her effort in showing up was kind of similar to mine, in that, like, neither of us knew what we were doing going into it, and we just kind of made our way there by just playing smart and, like, keeping the energy up. And yeah, and I saw that in her. And I saw it in Thomas too, but she and I had, like, a newbie kind of understanding.
Right.
That we shared in.
Did you have a highlight from today?
A highlight? I think, goodness, I don't even know, like, what I was expecting coming into this, but my sunflower round, when I was sunflower, chaotic, that's when stuff really started to stir.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was fun to be in that. It to kind of like be able to sit back and be like, okay, like this is a game, but like, how do I get this to go? And it felt like we were in the swing of it. People knew what was going on. People knew how to kind of talk to people. And it was where we had gotten into the meat and potatoes of the game.
Yeah.
And being in like the position of power at that point was just fun to kind of see, just play it from that point. Because I think for the rest of the game I was not super. I was in a position of power in my own head of like managing things, but nowhere else in the game. So I think that was a highlight of just kind of, and also actually I'm gonna uproot that and say that my highlight was really just meeting these people. I mean, like even just, I don't want to be all mushy, but like even like after all that, there's nobody that I knew except Thomas. I'd met Shakira before, but that was like it.
Right.
And I hate that it was an elimination game, but I had so much fun with these people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember the last time that I did something for 18 and a half hours, and at the end was like, worth it. You know what I mean? And like I came out and I was like, I really had a lot of fun with people.
Good. So that was going to be another question I had. Did you have fun today?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was like, even in the beginning when there was like a ton of people and it was just like us doing challenges, I miss PE. That's what that felt like. Like I miss doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was just doing with people that I was like actually laughing with. And so I hate that like it came to eliminations, but like we all knew what we signed up for.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Would you play again?
I would absolutely play again. I mean, that's something that I think that I'd be excited to, because I'll be moving away from Baton Rouge for a bit, and so kind of won't be seeing my Luke friends as much. But would love to be able to come and like reconnect up here, and especially like having had this one under my belt and kind of getting that experience. I would love to be able to come back and do it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you have any final thoughts on your day, on the game? Anything you learned today about yourself, about other people, about life?
What I learned about myself was that I can kind of see myself as a pushover. Like I'm a pushover a lot of the times, and in this I wanted to make sure that I wasn't that, and kind of made some decisive moves. And so I learned about myself that I can, when I need to, make those decisions.
Yeah.
Obviously I don't want to do it to hurt my friends like that in the future, but just that I have that gumption and I have that drive.
Yeah.
And that was a cool thing to learn about myself, that I could strategize and I could make things work when needed.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, this was Zach. They finished third.
Yeah.
Third. Great finish, great game. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for having me. I really like a blast.
Awesome.
And now I'm gonna go scrub myself until my epidermis comes off fully.
So Caitlin was our original exit interviewer,
Right.
So her exit show was called Flippin Out, where she interviewed the flippin' losers.
Wow. I guess I am a flippin' loser.
I guess you are. So she iconically flipped the table on her way out.
Absolutely.
So she was having people flip small tables in their exit interview. But we do have a table. We're not outside though. So you may throw this plate off of this table to get out your frustrations. But let me get the camera on it.
You ready?
Oh my god. Yep. Lovely.
I'll pick it back up.
Lovely. Let me just scoot that over here. Awesome, that was perfect. Okay, so how do you feel about today, your game?
I am very proud of my game. Like, I literally would not change anything. Ultimately, I do think Shakira does deserve the win because she won the jury over. I mean, everybody's telling me that the jury was pretty much unanimously on her going into the final three, and so like it's kind of hard to work with that, you know. I think she's just an incredibly charismatic and likable person, and like it makes sense to me. But as far as my game, I'm extremely proud. I would not change a thing. I think this was one of my strongest games,
And I'm happy to sway 4 people to vote for me at the end. You know?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did that because I can attest everybody was talking about Shakira. And someone slightly brought up your name and I was like, well, let's talk about Thomas. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about Thomas? And so you'll be able to watch it back. But like, they were like, I don't know. I think he was, there was a comment, I think he's riding Shakira's coattails. And I was like,
That's not the case.
so, what was your highlight from today?
Honestly, I normally know a good majority of the cast, if not like everyone but 2 people. And so I really got the opportunity to meet like 10 people that I've never met before. And like dive deep into a game with them. I knew Shakira beforehand. We are literally going to be roommates like in a week. And so I did know that I wanted to work with her, and obviously like getting close with her and like building a friendship that way was awesome. But like meeting people like Edmund and Brady and even connecting closer with Abrielle was just awesome. I had a blast. This was maybe my favorite experience ever.
So, it ties, right?
Right.
So here's Zach. He's breaking the tie. What are your thoughts on him picking Shakira over you? Like, are you shocked by that? Did you think he might have picked you?
Right before the votes were read, Zach turned to me and said, "How do you think this is about to play out?" And he said, "I think it's Shakira." And so I was like, "Oh, you do?" Because I think I just like nailed my jury speech at the park.
I personally think you did also.
And so I was like, okay, maybe I'm like not that girl, and so like I knew once it tied, that it would be Shakira, like because Zach totally said it right before.
Would you play again?
Absolutely. I think I've proved myself to still got it. Ooh, excuse me. Ultimately, I think I don't know. It's hard to play for the people that like an honest, clean game, and with the style that I like to play. And though I was more under the radar than I probably normally am, I think that is ultimately what got me at the end. Because if I was more aggressive for anything, then my name would have been brought up and I would have been taken out very quickly. And I think it is impressive that like I truly was never brought up.
Right.
You know? And I don't think it's because like I was like hiding in the bushes, but more so that I had quality relationships with every single person, and they thought that I was strong enough with them to not view me as beneficial to get out.
Right. So, like I mentioned earlier, there was a comment about you riding Shakira's coattails, but do you believe that you had the agency in the game to where you were the one wearing the coat?
Definitely. Well, I don't think that like I carried Shakira into this into the final.
No, for sure.
I do think that ultimately because I had more experience, like, and I know how to strategize and all of that. I do think a lot of the decisions that kept both of my co-finalists and were dependent on me. I had 7 seats at the end, so ultimately I could have chosen whoever I wanted to bring to the end. I thought that like strong gameplay would have won me over, but you never know with the jury. You never know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Do you have any final thoughts? Did you learn anything new today?
I knew that I can recover from a minor surgery very quickly and play a very intense and long endurance game. And you know, if I can do this on medication, girl, what can I do without anything? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. So any final thoughts about today? Any closing statements?
It was great. I'm so happy to be able to play the greenhouse, to just be inside Taylor's brain.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that I kind of pushed through and played today. I would have regretted not playing.
For
Absolutely.
sure. Awesome. Well, this has been Thomas. He was our runner-up this season. Congratulations on a fantastic game, and thanks for playing.
Ooh.
This was Caitlin's interview. Caitlin is really tired and is going home, so I'll be taking over for a couple. She did call it Flipping Out, where she interviewed the Flippin' Losers, but now we have the Flippin' Winner.
Hey!
So, how do you feel, first of all?
I am so honored to win. I definitely dreamed of making it this far. I did not think that I would because I didn't exactly have strategy on my side. But like I said in the deliberation, I feel like where I lacked in that, I made up in like social capital and just playing just playing like an honest, clear game. And so I'm so excited to say that, I was able to, especially like I did not see there being a tie. I definitely did see it being between me and Thomas in the end. Because I'm gonna be honest, in some of the like deliberation questions, I feel like Zach kind of like danced around the answer because he knew that he had wronged a couple people. So I knew it would be between me and Thomas. I didn't know that it would end up being a tie. But honestly, like I also feel really lucky to have that connection with Zach because it was literally in his hands in the end, and it could have easily gone another way. So I feel like it was a really good move to like anchor down with him from the beginning. So I feel good about that too.
Sure. Were you surprised by how anyone voted?
I was actually in two ways. I was surprised that I got a vote from Olivia. That is not one vote that I thought I was getting at all. And like in the deliberation, I knew that between Olivia, Abby, and Edmund, that those were votes that I wouldn't get. And I thought for sure everyone else would be a vote. And it ended up being that I did get Olivia's vote. I did not get Abby's, even though I feel like I was kind of working hard for it. I picked her as the person to be up there. That was true, but also it was kind of a strategic move. And I didn't get Edmund's, which I also kind of knew. But I was also surprised that I didn't get Shane's vote, which was interesting. Because whenever he was voted out, we were on the chopping block together. And he kind of looked at me and was like, I feel really good about you. I'll make sure that the jury feels really good about you. So I really thought that we had an understanding, at least. Maybe I misinterpreted the situation, but I thought that I would have had it, but I didn't. So that kind of shocked me a little bit, but ended up being alright.
Yeah. What was your highlight of today, besides winning, of course?
My highlight of today, I actually feel like I performed really well in the challenges, like the shooting, the game thing, the snake rolling thing, the ping pong bouncing thing, the what do you call it? The lassoing, whatever. I felt like I had a pretty good handle on like doing well in the challenges, because like that's an important part of the game that kind of goes unnoticed, because like those only happen for such a minute amount of time, and the majority of the game is like the deliberation, the talking, the one-on-one, that kind of stuff. But I feel like doing well in those saved me a couple times, so I'm really proud of myself and how well I played in the little game. So that wasn't like just one highlight, but just like a general consensus of something that I feel good about.
Awesome. Did you have fun today?
Oh, absolutely. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
But I did have a lot of fun. I love games, all kinds of games. And so I will definitely be back for Big Brother or a Survivor, or if you have like a Greenhouse All-Star season or something, like I would absolutely 100% sign up to be back, because I had a great time, even though it was hot and even though I'm tired.
Yeah.
It's worth it. I don't have anything to do tomorrow, so well, I have to study, but I'll do that eventually.
Right. Well, congratulations. We have our winner of season 3 of the Greenhouse. Thank you so much for playing. I know I can speak for everybody. It was a joy to watch you play.
Wow. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome.